I don't want to talk to you, sir, about Judge Boasberg or Boo Berg or whatever his name is. I don't know the man. I want to talk to you about federal criminal practice and procedure. Suppose the Attorney General appoints a special counsel to investigate criminal conduct. And the special counsel goes to a federal district judge and says, I want to subpoena these people's phone records. If that list of people includes sitting United States senators, does the special counsel have a legal or moral obligation to tell the judge that they're members of the U.S. Senate?
Yes, it's my understanding under 2 U.S.C. 6628 he would.
Okay.
And as a senator, you have a speech.
The Justice Department at that time had a policy
Yes.
that that information was not to be passed on to the district judge. Is that correct?
Yes, that policy was referenced by Jack Smith at his House Judiciary Committee testimony, and it's referenced in the letter that Senator Whitehouse introduced, written by the Director of the Administrative Office of the Courts in defense of Judge Boasberg. My response to that is DOJ policy does not supplant federal law.
Okay, so the if the special counsel in my hypothetical said what Mr. Smith allegedly said, which is the dog ate my homework, I couldn't do it because the DOJ had a policy. Does the federal judge in my hypothetical have a legal or a moral obligation to inquire?
Yes. That's how can you enter an order without any facts?
Should the federal judge in my hypothetical hold some sort of hearing as to why the special counsel in my hypothetical alleges that these people, including but not limited to sitting United States senators, would commit a federal crime of destroying evidence or tampering with witnesses?
I think briefing would be an adequate place to start, ultimately culminating in a hearing. And I think Judge Boasberg should hold Jack Smith in contempt for not doing precisely that. I mean, Judge Boasberg's trying to push...
Would you expect a federal district court judge to know that with all these subpoenas flying around, that there is a statute saying you can't turn over the phone records of a United States senator without them knowing about it? Would you expect that federal district court judge to know the law?
Absolutely. If it's too hard for him, he can resign.
Would it be grossly inevitable?
A routine congressional hearing suddenly exploded into chaos when Congressman Jim Jordan tried to play a video featuring parents speaking at school board meetings, only for Democrats to block it over a controversial 48-hour notice protocol. What followed was a fiery confrontation filled with accusations of censorship, heated parliamentary disputes, and nonstop interruptions between Republicans and Democrats inside the House Judiciary Committee.
But that these phone records might be for sitting United States senators, but he didn't inquire?
I think that would be basis for judicial misconduct and ultimately an impeachment inquiry.
Let's suppose that the federal district judge signed the order. And the federal district judge said, yeah, you can have the records, and I'm going to sign this order saying that this has to remain confidential because these people might destroy evidence. And let's suppose that the next stop for this special counsel was, let's just say, Verizon. Do you know a person by the name of Vandana Venkatesh?
I don't, but before we get there, I think the judge would need an internal opinion under seal describing his basis for passing this order.
I appreciate that. Do you know a person by the name of Vandana Venkatesh?
I'm not familiar with that individual.
Okay. She is the executive vice president and general counsel of Verizon. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, sure you do. I just told you.
Oh,
Are you aware that last year she made $6.44 million?
I am now.
Yeah. She must be pretty smart, huh? Would you expect someone this smart to say, whoa, Mr. Special Counsel, I've got this list you gave me. Are any of these people sitting in the United States as senators? Wouldn't you expect her to inquire?
Yeah, I expect companies to give the Senate a little more respect than they gave here.
And if the special counsel didn't refuse to tell her, if he said, Ms. Venkatesh, I can't tell you that. If I told you, I'd have to drown you in the Pacific. Wouldn't you expect her to seek a court order quashing the subpoena, if for no other reason but to cover her elbow?
I think the members here have a right to have expected that.
And if she didn't do that, either out of ignorance, maybe she was tired from counting her money all day, I don't know. But if she didn't do that, would that be malpractice?
I think it would be worse, Senator. As I mentioned in my written testimony, I think Judge Boasberg and Jack Smith subjected these service providers potential similar criminal or civil liability for not.
But here's my point. In the situation I described, if the special counsel goes to these to the telephone companies, these are smart people. Their lawyers are paid a lot of money. They're supposed to be as smart as Professor Vladeck. And if they just sat there like a bump on a log and said, okay, sure, anything you want, here's the records, without inquiring in this environment as to whether or not they were sitting U.S. senators, without saying, I better cover my rear end here and file a motion to quash. Wouldn't that be gross negligence and incur liability on behalf of Verizon and others who demonstrated this special kind of stupidity?
It's a very significant risk, and Jack Smith and Judge Boasberg put them in that situation.
Boy, I've gone way over. But then you did too, Cruz. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please, don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribers button for more political updates.